What's up, guys? Welcome to Rockstar News,
the podcast.
I'm Mighty Mike.
I'm Chris Noon.
And on today's show, we're going to be talking about, if I can talk, Equifax's data breach. So Equifax had a data breach back in 2017, and today, Wednesday the 22nd, is the last day to file a claim. And this affects over 147 million Americans who have had their credit data exposed in this breach.
So if you have credit, you're breached.
Yeah, you're breached. And typically when you go to real estate, you get a credit card,
Credit Karma,
anything that requires a credit check, Equifax is going to be a part of it.
Even a soft pool. So if you're doing a rental, like you said, buying a car, anything like that, you've been exposed. So.
Yeah, so your credit, your history, all that stuff with this is part of this data breach.
What's the claim amount?
I don't know what the claim amount is.
What do they call that? The
the total
settlement fee, disbursement fee.
Yeah, the total settlement is $700 million in individual compensation and civil penalties. The largest settlement ever to be paid for a data breach. Equifax has paid so far $275 million in civil penalties and other compensations to 48 states. Washington, Puerto Rico, Consumer Financial Bureau, and the company was ordered to change how it handles private user data.
How can we find out if you actually are one of the 147?
There's a link here, and I'll go ahead and put it in the description down below so you guys can check it out. But some of the things that I guess when it comes to securing your data, it's one. I think the biggest thing, especially Google's talking about doing this, getting away from passwords altogether. And
what are they gonna
do? Go to biometrics. And that kind of scares me. I don't know if that scares a lot of you guys out there.
They actually hold on to your DNA and stuff.
Oh, no,
like
not
that,
DNA, but it'd be like your fingerprints. It'd be like your facial recognition, your retina scans. But once that's gone, there is no way to fix that. Once someone has, your fingerprints, it has your all those scans. It's not like you could just change it. You just can't get rid of it on stuff like this. But the problem is with the password system that we have in place now, and the reason why Google wants to go ahead and get rid of it is everybody does a horrible job at retaining passwords.
Yeah, everyone's lackadaisical about it.
We're lackadaisical. We're lazy as hell.
It's so funny. Everything is now going towards a double verification.
Yeah,
and I'm coming across so many people who find it so annoying. I'm like, you understand how many breaches are done on a regular basis? This is the steps. This is what's happening. I'm grateful for a two-step verification.
Yeah, and a good question to you guys. Go ahead and leave in the comments down below. Have you had your data breach or stolen, or your identity stolen, and you had to go through that?
Been lucky.
I've known a couple people who had to go through that series where I had a gentleman who his debit card got stolen, and I think he had like $6,000 on it or something like this. And the thing was, it was funny. I forgot who said it to me yesterday. But the thing with banks, if you use a debit card and your money gets stolen, they don't care. But if it's a credit card and your money gets stolen, they absolutely care. So always use a credit card when you're purchasing things online if you have a credit card. Or there's other websites out there that you could use. And I forgot which one it was. I use one. It's like a virtual credit card or debit card you can use, and you upload it. And that way you
kind of like Google Pay or that kind of pay.
I think so. I forget the name, but it's like a virtual card system that you can go ahead and download.
Because that's just pretty much what it sounds like. Because I have the option for Google Pay, but I won't use it. The same thing where you just kind of go up to the scanner and just dink.
Virtual credit cards. I don't know what the actual thing is. I use it and I forgot what it was. It's like, oh, come on.
You use it often?
No. Oh, privacy.com. So yeah, if you go to privacy.com, you can get virtual credit cards in order to purchase things online. This basically, this is a great way to actually, if you're trying to purchase things that are subscription based, and if you guys have ever tried to go through the process of canceling a subscription, and they make it where you have to email them, then you have to call them, and it's this long drawn out process.
What are you subscribed to?
Oh, this is mainly the old school newspaper venues. Washington Post has this issue because they're losing subscriber bases, so they're trying to
make
hold
it
on to
so difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So you use this virtual card, and we're not getting paid. This isn't a sponsorship at all. But you use this virtual card online.
I had to preface that.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure people are oh, this is a commercial. So you use the privacy.com cards that they give you, the virtual card, And if you don't want the subscription anymore, you just stop paying it, and they can't do anything about it. So you're just like, done. Do not recommend this for paying your bills. Just don't stop.
Yeah,
you will get in trouble for that. But yeah, so today is the deadline to actually get your information out there.
And out of the 700 million that they're giving out for compensation, only 275 million. Well, you know what? I might actually just investigate and just be like, see what I can get. I'll probably get like $25.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. Because I've been part of those.
Because they got to do some research on, like, they're not gonna just take your word for it. Is his name on the list? Yep. Okay, here's X amount. No, they gotta see how much damage was done to you. I imagine.
I've been part of those class action lawsuits where, like, randomly in the mail I'll get like $10, like a $10 check that will come in. I got one from Facebook, like a long time ago, and they're like, random $10 Facebook check, and they're just like, what is this for? Yeah. And like, you're part of a class action lawsuit.
What does that say right there? Unfortunately, if you had already filed a claim for this $125 payout or plan before the deadline, don't expect to get much. Only 31 million of the settlement money will be used for the payouts. Come on.
Well, this is the problem with the class action lawsuits.
Yeah.
The majority of that money goes to the lawyers.
Goes to the courts.
Yeah. So the lawyers are going to
that to a $105 payout, considerably dependent on how many people filed for the claim.
Yeah, like I think there was a class action lawsuit against Costco, and the claim was that Costco didn't tell, consumers that, like, basic physics here. Didn't tell consumers that when you pump gas, that gas expands and contracts depending on the temperature.
Right.
So they're saying that they're getting a different volume of stuff, which is nonsense. But, that was the claim. Because you got to think about, like, the gas tanks are on the ground. They're 6 feet under there. The temperatures don't really change. And by the time you pump it out, it doesn't matter if it's cold or hot outside. Like, it's in a giant container on the ground that's
giant drum. Gotcha.
But the class action lawsuit was saying that they didn't inform them and that somehow they were getting less gas. So people who were like, yeah, we're getting money for this. Well, the lawyers got like $130 million. Everybody else got $10 rebates. And you
apply that to your next stop at Costco.
Yeah, exactly. You apply it to your membership card. Congratulations.
Oh,
so it's just like, a lot of these class action lawsuits are pretty much, But so today is the last day you fly.
It's not worth it. I'm not doing it. If I'm going to get $125.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure, like, all of us are in there. Like, 165 million is like the general adult population of America.
Of America, yeah. There's like 300 million, and then majority of it is going to be adults.
Yeah, there was another class action lawsuit. It was actually for my cell phone here. I got a Nexus 6P, and it has a battery drain issue where the battery was set to drain and it will shut off at a certain percentage. And it's typically around like 30, 40, and it does it all the time. I hate it. And so
30%?
Yeah, so 30%, my phone was just like shut down. What? And so I filed the claim, and this is my second one because originally it was happening before.
Right.
So I sent it into Google. Google sent me a refurbished one, and now it's still doing it. So I got two.
Replace the battery.
I got two, and like the class action lawsuit was literally saying like, oh, you're gonna get like $500, like because Google's paying out the settlement fee, all stuff. This. I still haven't heard anything from them. And
well, class action lawsuits, like, they usually last a while.
Well, the deadline was back in like November.
To file?
To file, and I filed already. So
okay, well, I'm saying like if that was a deadline, now they're gonna go ahead and start all the process, and you're looking at like another year and a half, probably.
Nexus, can't spell this. Nexus 6P.
I'm pretty sure you just type in Nexus class action lawsuit
settlement.
Okay.
So yeah, if I get
you should have the court case. You should. There should be a case where you could file on public record.
Oh, it was September.
I
do nothing. No deadline. I love how like lawyers have to like lawyer everything.
They do.
Like, so it says submit a claim by September 3rd. Exclude yourself by September 3rd. Comment or object by September 3rd. Or do nothing. No deadline.
No deadline.
It's like, thanks, lawyers. We appreciate that.
Do you know if you know where the settlement is taking place, like what court and what state, you should be able to find it and you can track it from there.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. But so there's all that going on. So if you guys have been affected, or you want to find out, or if you've been affected by this data breach, I'm gonna go ahead and link a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out.
We're going to try to get this out to the public today.
Whether, well, this is pretty easy. But whether you've been affected and you're going to get like $20, I don't know. Like who knows what's going to be going on there?
I don't know.
So,
it's our job to inform.
Yeah. All right. So another big one is they recently released some stats and foreclosures are down. And it's at a 15-year low.
That's not surprising to me.
I mean, that's a good thing.
I still see it, but like the amount of homes available out of the percentage, it's so low. It's so low. It's got to be like less than like 10% of the homes that are on the market. Yeah, no, it's going to be extremely low. And it's just simply because the type of environment we had back in 2008 and beyond, you literally have mortgage lenders who were giving out liar loans. Mm-hmm. You know, you have mortgage lenders who were sitting there saying like, hey, look, you know, we can give a loan to this guy, just how much money you make. And they weren't even verifying anything.
They weren't verifying funds. They weren't verifying credit. They're just like, here, sign here. You're good to go. We don't have that typical environment anymore. And, you know, we kind of talked about it on the podcast before about this whole idea that the market's going to take kind of a dip, you know, like, and the reason why, because like a lot of people would sit there like, what are you guys doing? Like, how do you guys know that the market is going to crash? Well, just looking at the data, there's a thing called the inverted yield. It is essentially when the money that banks loan out becomes more expensive. You know, essentially they have to pay money for you to borrow the money.
Yes.
And when this inverted yield happens, it always coincides with a recession, you know, relatively soon after that.
Yep.
So we had an inverted yield that happened towards the fourth quarter of last year.
Yes.
And so people now are predicting that we're going to be going into recession. We're going to be seeing, prices kind of drop in the housing market slightly.
And a co-factor to that is the fact that we're just having an election. It's now an election yield. So the yield has inverted, and we're going into an election cycle where if we have the same president, then things are just going to kind of proceed as normal. But if it's a new president, that means there's going to be new tariffs, probably new sanctions, new deals, and people are going to hold on to money, and they're going to wait till they start seeing signs of where to go.
Yeah.
So it's going to cause pretty much a stagnation for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I mean, election seasons always, especially presidential election seasons, have always affected the markets. Yep. So, yeah, like my biggest thing, especially with my buyers, you know, like I have a lot of people who are kind of sitting on the fence, and for you guys out there who are sitting on the fence, you're like, should I buy a house now or should I wait till the recession happens?
Buy it your time.
Yeah, buy it when you're right, when you feel, when your finances are good, when you're ready to go. But here's the thing: we're not going to have a 2008 situation happen again.
Not by a long
You're not going to
shot.
see home prices drop by half. That's not going to happen. You may see in some parts of the country a 3 to maybe at the most 5% drop in home prices.
Yeah, those are going to be the areas that we're starting to come up possibly,
or just there's other areas
or rural areas.
Yeah, well, there's other areas in the country that aren't, you know, as hot as Orlando or like Las Vegas or California, certain parts of California. There's, where they have like a normal growth cycle. Here in Orlando, our main problem is that we have like a 2.1 month supply, which means we're in a seller's market.
Yep.
And the big reason why has a lot to do with 2008. A lot of people are kind of, underwater in the mortgage, and like they sell now, they're not going to make any money. And so they're not leaving. They're not selling their houses. You have a lot of older people who are essentially just holding on to their houses longer than they used to before.
Yeah. And, because of that, they bought high, and they're still not making up for it. Those who bought during the downturn, those are the ones that are moving. But the biggest reason why a lot of people are not also able to move, in my opinion, is that there's not their next home that they're looking for is not there.
Well, yeah, that's a big problem. It's creating this vicious cycle.
Yes.
You normally would have these people who would be like, all right, time to downsize.
Yep.
You have the older generation that typically the kids are graduating, they're getting out of school, or not getting out of school, they're getting out of the house, and they're going off and living their own lives. And so you have these parents who live in these empty nests.
Yep.
And they're like, do we maintain this empty nest house, or do we downsize and like kind of prepare ourselves for retirement? Yep. They're not doing that anymore.
And there are
a massive amount of numbers.
The only the luxury, the people who have like all this money, and they're the ones that are downsizing. They have these huge houses. They're not making anything near than what the market shows. Like the market shows that they're there, but in reality, it's a buyer's market for luxury houses.
Yeah, so if you are a millionaire and you're thinking about dropping a couple million on a house, it's probably a good time.
It's a very good time.
Very good time.
It's a very good time to be a millionaire and drop some money on a house. However, majority of those houses that are going to be coming up for sale are dated.
Oh yeah,
Dated.
Yeah, so and that's another big reason. Like,
but those are the ones you're going to get great deals on.
Yeah, you're going to get good rates. You're just going to have to go ahead and sit there and renovate.
Yeah, you're going to have to sit there and renovate, and you're going to be dealing with sellers who are pretty much might be like you, little type A, and just be a little bit hard headed on waggling the price. So if you like that challenge, it's all you, and we can easily represent you because I enjoy it too.
Yeah, no, I've dealt with the type A, type millionaire sellers and buyers. They are a fun bunch. But yeah, so big news. You know, I think we as far as like a market are going to be going into 2020 pretty hot.
It's already picking up like crazy.
Yeah, things are already picking up. So if you guys are thinking about selling, it's definitely time to start looking at the numbers, start reaching out to me or Chris to figure out like what's your best options. And I think the biggest problem we see with a lot of like sellers and buyers is they, you know, I get it. Life gets busy. So you're kind of trying to juggle the kids, the wife, the husband, the job.
Got to schedule time.
But typically sitting down with us will take about, 20, 30 minutes?
20, 30 minutes. It depends on how many questions you got.
Yeah, depending on how many questions you got to get you the numbers and to show you the path and on how to go about purchasing or selling your home, or if you're purchasing and selling a home, how that would be juggled and handled. That is typically you want to give yourself about a 90 days lead start. And that to me, like 90 days is like the bare minimum.
Absolute bare minimum, because you got to be ready to roll, because the process right now, if you're not able to find your house right away, it's going to take some time once you get pre-approved and everything, and then 30 days just on average for a contract.
Yeah, and if you're a buyer, especially in this market, you're going to be going up against multiple offer situations, constantly.
It also depends on your price point, but yes.
Yeah, so your price point, like if you're going into like the average like house price point, which is about $250,000 in Orlando, the Central Florida area, you're going to be competing with a lot of people. If you're like in the 400, 500,000.
Oh, if you're into 3+, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I've run into multiple offers
at
the 3 area. Yeah, exactly.
Those homes are just going to be dated.
Yeah. So like it really depends on what you're looking to do. But if you're looking to sell your house, you definitely want to start that now, because think about it. It's going to take minimum. If you were to like call us right now to get that process going, we would meet you, like, let's say today. We would meet you, go out to your house, look at the property, talk with you, have a conversation, and then schedule time to go out there to market your home, to get all the assets, the websites, the photos, the videos, all stuff. You look at about 2 weeks. And then once you put your house on the market, depending on your area, you're probably looking at your price. You're probably looking at 30 days on market. Now that's once again average. We've sold houses days. Yeah, so like it really depends on what you're doing, but keep in mind, like I like to give worst case scenarios first, so that people have basically under deliver, overwhelm, or under promise and over deliver. I said that backwards.
You started to. You cut yourself.
Essentially allow people to, to have realistic expectations when it comes to selling their house. Now, if we sell it, like I think most of my houses, I think the only time that I've sold a house that went over 30 days was when it was like in the sticks. It was like a property that was like way out there.
Yeah, if you have a unique property, it's gonna take a while.
Or just not a hot traffic area.
Yeah, not a hot traffic area. If you're living in a kind of a colder market and the average days is say like 40, you're literally looking at probably a 6-month list agreement, and then you probably won't see anything unless you're priced correctly or below market value to see anything before that 40-day mark.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys are ready to go, definitely let us know. Or if you think about in the summertime you're going to be ready, then time is now to hit us up. Let us know what's going on.
The more you know, and the more you can schedule a plan, just like what you're saying. Get in front of us. Just pick our brain, and we'll kind of we'll just guide you through the path.
Yeah, and if you're sitting there going like, well,
I'll come back around in like 3 months when you're ready to go 20 days later.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you don't have an action plan to get you going, then you're always going to be sitting there thinking about it. The difference between, I'm horrible at quotes, so I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to murder it. So it's like the difference between like dreaming is having a dream and having a plan. I don't know. I messed that up.
The difference between having a dream and having a plan is that the plan will actually come into fruition.
Dream versus...
He's actually looking it up. Give him a second.
Don't call it a dream, call it... I don't know. You get the point. So you get the point
found
where...
a Pinterest quote.
Yeah, it's some kind of pillow Pinterest quote. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. We're not going to do that. But so, yeah, hit us up. Let us know. Any other things you wanted to bring up?
No, not at this time.
Yeah. So definitely today's the last day that you guys can do the data breach. Go ahead and hit that link down below. I will remember it this time because I know a couple other episodes I keep forgetting to add that. So I will add that link there. You can hit them up, get part of that class action lawsuit, get your $20.
Oh.
But here's the thing. Like, I get it. Like, you may not be getting a whole lot of money, but I think it is important to be part of these class action lawsuits because this shows, how many people were actually involved, how many people were affected by this. And a lot of these companies, like the Target,
the Target breach. Yeah, that's like what, 2015, 16, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I forgot what it was, but like the breach stemmed from them giving out, access to their systems to like a HVAC guy, which is or HVAC guy. It was an AC guy, and he had like just a basic password, and they hackers were testing all the systems, and they found an in route into their systems through this vendor who was just working on their AC systems. So like, data security is something that we have to keep pushing. If we're going to be giving out our data to all these companies, to all these organizations, then if I'm going to give you my data, I'm going to need something in return. And that's to know that you're going to be taking care of my data just like you would. Like if I hand you a gold bar, like I hand my money to the bank, your data is just as valuable as the money you're literally handing to your bank. And if you're not going to take care of it, if you're just going to let thieves come in and take it, that's something that we need to address in our society, in our country today.
Agreed. Agreed.
So, all right, guys, that's the end of the episode. We're going to make this one a short one. This is the first episode of the podcast this year. We kind of been busy. Yeah. So we're going to start coming up on a more regular plan every week, coming up with a new podcast. So if you guys have any questions, suggestions,
or if you want to sponsor us,
any concerns, anything of that nature, you want us to cover a certain topic, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. We'll go ahead and address it. I know a lot of you guys are thinking about purchasing, thinking about selling, thinking about renting. I'm the property manager, director of our company here. So when it comes to renting, it comes to being a landlord, it comes to investing, that is my shtick. Chris is probably one of the best realtors in the business today.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. This guy wins awards all the time. He is probably the best guy that you could
I'm up for another one.
Yeah, he's up for another one. So if you guys have any questions when it comes to buying, it comes to selling, we are the guys. We are your Rockstar Realtors, and this is Rockstar News. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. You guys have a good one, and make sure you subscribe.
Take care.